Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue to read the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read it. An outright gift to Atreus, Agamemnon, and Menelaus. Eueneus gave a shipment of wine, 1,000 measures full. From the rest, Achaean soldiers bought their rations. Some with bronze, and some with gleaming iron, some with hides, some with whole live cattle, some with slaves, and they made a handsome feast. Then all that night the long-haired Achaeans feasted, as Trojans and Trojan allies took their meal in Troy. Yes, but all night long the master, strategist Zeus, plotted fresh disaster for both opposing armies, his thunder striking at terror, and blanching panic swept across the ranks. They flung wine from their cups and wet the earth, and no fighter would dare drink until he'd poured an offering out of the overwhelming sun of corners. Then down they lay at last and took the gift of sleep. Book 8. The tide of battle turns. Now as the dawn flung out her golden robe across the earth, Zeus, who loves the lightning, summoned all the gods to assembly on the topmost peak of rigid Olympus. He harangued the immortals, hanging on his words. Hear me, all you gods and all goddesses too, as I proclaim what the heart inside me urges. Let no lovely goddess and no god either try to fight against my strict decree. All submit to it now, so all the more quickly I can bring his violent business to an end. And any god I catch breaking ranks with us, eager to go and help the Trojans or Achaeans, back he comes to Olympus, whipped by the lightning, eternally disgraced. Or I will snatch and hurl him down to the murk of Taratus, half the world away, the deepest gulf that yawns beneath the ground, where the iron gates and brazen threshold loom. As far below the house of death as the sky rises over earth, then he will know how far my power tops all other gods. Come, try me, immortals, so all of you can learn. Hang a great golden cable down from the heavens, lay hold of it, all your gods, all goddesses too, you can never drag me down from sky to earth. Not Zeus, the highest, mightiest king of kings, not even if you worked yourself to death. But whenever I'd set my mind to drag you up, in deadly earnest I'd hoist you all with ease, you and the earth, you and the sea all together. Then loop that golden cable around the horn of Olympus, bind it fast and leave the whole world dangling in mid-air. That is how far I tower over the gods, I tower over man. A stunned silence seized them all, struck down. Those ringing pronouncements overwhelmed them so. But finally, clear-eyed, Athena rose and spoke. Our father, son of Cronus, high and mighty, we already know your power far too well. Who can stand against you? Even so, we pity those Argive spearmen, living out their green fates, dying in blood. Yes, we'll keep clear of the wall as you command. We'll simply offer the Argives tactics that may save them, so they won't all fall beneath your blazing wrath. Zeus, who drives the storm clouds, smiled and answered, Courage, Athena, third born of the gods, Dear child, nothing I said was meant in earnest. Trust me, I mean you all the good will in the world. With that, he harnessed his bronze-hoofed horses onto his battle car, his pair that raised the wind with their golden manes, streaming on behind them and strapping golden armor around his body. Zeus himself took up his whip, that coils lithe and gold, and climbed abroad. A crack of the lash, the team plunged to a run, and on the stallions flew, holding nothing back, as they winged between the earth and the starry skies, and gaining the slopes of Ida with all her springs, the mother of wild beasts. They reached Gangaran Peak, where the grove of Zeus and Zeus' smoking altar stand. There the Father of man and the gods reigned in his team, set them free, and around them poured a dense mist, and Zeus assumed his throne on the mountain top, exulting in all his glory, gazing out over the city walls of Troy and the warships of Achaea. Quickly the long-haired Achaeans took their meal, threw out the shelters. Then they armed at once, and on their side the Trojan put on a harness too, mustering throughout the city a smaller force, but nerved to engage in combat even so. Necessity pressed them to fight for sons and wives. All the gates flung wide, and the Trojan mass surged out. Horses, chariots, men on foot, a tremendous roar went up. And now, as the armies clashed at one strategic point, they slammed their shields together. Pike scraped pike with the grappling strands of fighters armed in bronze, and their round shields' bosses pounded height to height. And the thunder of struggle roared and rocked the earth. Screams of men and cries of triumph breaking in one breath. Fighters killing, fighters killed, and the ground streamed blood. As long as morning rose and the blessed day grew stronger, the weapons hurtled side to side, and men kept falling. But once the sun stood striding at high noon, then Father Zeus held up his sacred golden scales. In them he placed two fates of death that lays man low, one for Trojan horsemen, one for Argives armed in bronze. And gripping the beam made heft, the Father raised it high, and down went to Achaea's day of doom, Achaea's fate, settling down on the earth that feeds us all, as the fate of Troy went lifting toward the sky. And Zeus let loose a huge crash of thunder from Ida, hurling his bolts in a flash against Achaea's armies. The man looked on in horror. White terror seized them all. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.